I'm Anisa. I was a student at Ohio State University, and I was in my junior year. I had a boyfriend, was living the typical college lifestyle, and I was really looking forward to the future. Right around finals, I went home right before, and I started to feel a little tired and complaining about that. It wasn't until a friend said something to me about taking a pregnancy test because of my complaints of being so sick and tired all the time. I took the pregnancy test and discovered that I was pregnant. And in that moment, I think the world kind of just went blank. Everything that I had envisioned and seemed just so close to being in reach, my graduation, a job, marriage, all of those things just seemed to just go black. I started to feel overwhelmed and scared to death. I remember just sitting in my bedroom in my college house just crying. I'd go to class, I'd go to work, and I'd just come home and I'd just sit in my room and cry and cry and cry. And I felt alone. And I just, didn't ever think that it could work out. So I did a Google search one night sitting in my house bedroom, my roommate's hanging out with me, and I started to search, and somehow amongst the search, PDHC popped up. The first time I visited PDHC, they actually just gave me a pregnancy test. And then what caught me off guard is they actually pulled me into a room, and there I was able to talk with one of the members here at PDHC and the staff, and they talked me through options for my pregnancy, and they just gave me that support and that coaching and confidence to talk to my family and to gain the support of my pregnancy. So I walked out of PDHC without carrying a heavy burden anymore, and that burden lightened each day. So I brought my mom into the ultrasound with me, and in that moment, in that small room, it was the first time that we heard my daughter's heartbeat. And it was the first moment I fell in love with my daughter. I walked out of PDHC from that appointment feeling a sense of relief, and all the burden and the guilt started to fade. But when I came to PDHC, I realized that I needed to reconnect with God, that He obviously had a plan for me, and I needed to start to connect with Him to understand that plan and to trust in Him, and to not be scared anymore. That's how I've lived my life, trusting in Him. And now I've been able to live out everything that I've wanted to. I went on and got my master's. I became a teacher. I had a wonderful career, and I owe that to the confidence that I gained here. I did not believe in abortion, but when you are in that situation where you think that there's going to be this harsh consequence for your actions, it's sometimes easy to think there might be an easy way out. I don't know what would have happened. I'd like to think that I did have the strength inside of me to not go that route, but what if I had gone into somewhere else? And that was the only option they laid out in front of me. And they gave me that pregnancy test, and they said, here, you're pregnant. You can get an abortion, you can have a baby. But they didn't talk to me like PDHC did. They hugged me. They held me when I cried. They told me it was going to be okay. That could have been the difference that changed my life. I feel like they gave me this life with my daughter,